So, this has taken me a while to kind of come to terms with, and my fridge is open. I need new seals. I guess it's one of those things that you kind of always knew when you were younger, but back then we didn't really have the technology or the science or knowledge in those sorts of areas. Got my cool hoodie on today. Death Wish coffee, because it's very cold here, and I've got my heat pump on. So I posted something the other day on my Facebook and my Instagram about how I was always a bit of a weird child. Nothing has changed, I'm still a weird adult. But the more I think back about stuff that happened and the kind of person I was and am, I guess the more I realise that I don't want to say that there's lots of stuff wrong with me, because I don't believe that mental health is a problem. It's just a challenge that we as people have to kind of learn to work through, and you can do that with things like really good friends and medical support, whatever that looks like for you. If that's just exercise, or it's exercise and therapy, or it's exercise, therapy and medication, or it's exercise, therapy, medication, music. All of those sorts of things are things that I have done, continue to do, and am learning more about with this potential diagnosis of endometriosis, which I guess makes a lot of sense. My mum and my sister would tell you, and my ex-boyfriends would probably tell you, that I've got the worst fucking PMS of anyone. And when I look at it now, I'm like, yeah, actually I was a pretty terrible person. But it was me, but it was something inside me, I guess, kind of making me act that way. So I'm not going to deny or try and flag off that behaviour from other things or other people, but we are products of our environment, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. I'm a social worker by trade, if you want to call it a trade or qualification. I have a social work degree. I know a lot about people. I know a lot about mental health, psychology, sociology. Those are the things that interest me. That's why I changed from high school, Western Heights High School, to Girls High, because I got to study sociology in sixth form at Western Heights, and I loved it. My teacher, Mr. Wrigley, was amazing. He got to see the real angsty teenage Deanna, and I got to see him again just recently, and it was really cool to see him and some of my other teachers from Western Heights, because a lot of them are still there. And I was a really depressed, anxious teenager. I had a lot of panic attacks, and that's not me telling you this for sympathy. It's more of a fact that, you can go through these things when you're a teenager or in primary school, as babies, even in the womb, and you have things happen to you that you don't really get to process or work through until you're older. And then, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I have a shower or go for a drive, if I'm not listening to music, which I kind of need to do to help my brain, my mind starts to wander. And I guess there are positives and negatives to that. I'm just going to grab my wine. It's alcohol-free wine. I'm trying to be a little bit less, I drink, but I don't drink a lot. So alcohol-free wine is something I've started recently drinking, and I really enjoy it. It's quite nice. So I'm just gonna get my wine, my alcohol-free wine. So I guess the point of this video is I kind of want to share some of my stories from my childhood in a way that I think would hopefully be helpful to other people. And please don't think that this is me trying to target my family or doctors or the medical profession or social workers who should have done something, or counsellors who should have done something, or psychiatrists who should have done something, because as my amazing friend and hero, oh, she's amazing, probably one of the best people I've got to meet in my life, to be honest. As Layla has told me, you know, you can look back to the past, but you should only do that if you're learning from it. And I'm a firm believer in trying to do your best to live in the present and focus on the future and your dreams and things you can control, things you can have choices over, and making good choices. You know, I'm only human. I know I've made mistakes. I've done things that I shouldn't have done. I've probably treated people really badly, but now that I've kind of stepped away from those situations, I've had the ability to kind of separate myself from that and look at it as more as a bad moment or a bad time. And recently I actually sent someone a message, and I'm not saying this for for sympathy or anything, but this just goes to show that we as humans make mistakes, and we can say sorry, we can acknowledge that we were in a shitty place, and we can say that I'm not that person anymore. And if that person chooses to accept your apology, then that's cool, that's really great. If they don't, then that's okay as well. You're not doing it for their forgiveness, you know, you're doing it because you want to acknowledge that what happened wasn't right. And I actually reached out to someone recently, I won't name names because it doesn't really matter who it was, and I said to them, you know, since I've not been at that job anymore, I've kind of had a moment to step back and look at the kind of person that I was when I was there. I was there for 5 years, so I was there for a while. I was there when my niece Alicia passed away. I went through a lot of stuff working at that job, and I do feel very lucky for the girls in our team that we had, our CEO that we had, our supervisor, our manager. They were very, very supportive, and you'd kind of hope that they were because they're social workers. But you know, social work is a job, it's a profession, it's a career, but sometimes we get so caught up in other things we kind of forget to care about ourselves and the people who we are most in direct contact with. I actually got given this really amazing necklace when I left my old job, and I bawled my eyes out because I learned a lot about Māori culture and Māori kaupapa through my primary school. You know, at primary school I did kapahaka, and I thought that was pretty cool. I was this little white girl with blonde hair and blue eyes doing kapahaka, so I really loved that. I love music, I love rhythm, and I think that that's actually something that helps my brain, and it's something I've been thinking about recently is, you know, in the kind of field of psychology and sociology, we probably don't pay enough attention to things like music and how a beat or a rhythm can help us regulate. And I know one of my youngest nephews, he used to always fall asleep if you would be pushing him in a swing. He would just fall asleep, and I think it's similar to when you have a baby and you're in a rocking chair. You know, the motion of being in a rocking chair helps that baby to go to sleep. I guess it's the same with you know, being in a swing or listening to music. I was blasting Macklemore on repeat on Friday at work because there's such a good beat to that music, and I guess it's similar to other artists like Eminem. I'm not really a person who loves rap music, but Macklemore and Eminem, I can understand the way they process their own things and the kind of rhythm and music that they make for that reason. I've actually got a song lyric tattooed on my leg, and it's from one of my favourite artists of all time, Johnny Cash, and it says, "Get rhythm when you get the blues." And to me, that is such a detrimental part of my mental health journey, I guess you would call it, and looking after myself and knowing what makes me well, what doesn't, what my triggers are, what can I do to make things better. And sometimes you can't do things to make anything better. Sometimes you just have to, you know, swallow those fucking pills that you got given from the doctor because they will make you better. You know, sometimes you just have to have sleepless nights. Sometimes you have to take your medication. I got given a whole bunch of new pills from my doctor recently, and I've got a bit of a history with taking pills, I'll be honest. I got given sleeping pills when I was at high school, and I had a really bad reaction to them. I didn't know that I was awake. I thought I was still asleep, But I was staying at a friend's house, and her mum the next morning was like, no, you were awake. And I was like, no, I swear I was asleep. And I wasn't taking the piss. Like, I honestly thought that I was asleep that entire time, but I wasn't. I was awake. So I think in general, for a school doctor to give a 15 or 16-year-old sleeping pills without any kind of parental permission is probably not ideal. I won't name names because I don't want to get that person or those people in trouble, but I think it's just a sign of the times, you know, like, here, have some pills, you'll sleep better. Here, have some pills, these will make you happy. Here, have some pills, they'll take your pain away. And I get it, like, I get that some people need those and I need those. I've been taking antidepressants since I was 16, but I kind of wonder now if I shouldn't have been taking those. Like, I wonder if I should have been given like the B12 injection, because I've had that and that did really help me. Alcohol-free wine. This is Shiraz. It's really nice. Yeah, so I've kind of been wondering now. I've been taking these antidepressants since I was 16. I'm 33. Is it possible that all of this stuff that has happened to me in terms of my mental health challenges and my mental health journey was just because I had a severe hormone imbalance and B12 deficiency? I mean, obviously, I was quite a depressed and angsty teenager. I did have a lot of panic attacks. So it's not necessarily that it was not that thing, but I think maybe if they had done blood tests, or if they had looked further into women and periods back then, maybe this could have been a little bit different. And I know, like my friend Layla said, like I've said, so I can't be a hypocrite about it, but women health is so undervalued and so under-researched. Like, how many billions or millions or trillions of years have women been giving birth to children? And we're only starting to learn about things like endometriosis, polycystic ovary syndrome, and all of those sorts of things. And it really fucks me off. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me angry. We as women and people who choose to be women have been treated like this since the beginning of time. First we were fucking witches, so we got burned at the stake, we got drowned. You know, like, why is it that men thought, and probably still some of them think, that they are the superior beings? You're only fucking human as well. And I don't care if you're the president of the United States, I don't care if you're the king of a fucking country, or if you're a CEO in a multi-million-dollar business. You do not deserve to treat women and people who choose to be women anything other than equal. And I fucking mean that without a doubt, 100%. So I got pregnant when I was 16 and I had to have an abortion. That's something that I kind of try not too hard to think about, because it does still hurt. That's my air fryer. But at the time it was the right choice. Okay, shush. Thank you. At the time it was the right choice, and as much as it hurt at the time and as much as I didn't want to, it was another one of those choices that I made that I have to live with, and that's okay. I really want to have children. When I kind of found out that this pain that I've been going through this last month now, almost, it is like almost a month actually, that this pain could be endometriosis, that it's not kidney stones or renal colic like they thought it might have been. I fucking cried my eyes out like a little baby, because I felt like this would happen to me. Life was going so well. I love my job. I love the people I work with. I love the clients we have. And Murphy's fucking law. Like, I would get something like this happen to me. I thought it was COVID. I thought, oh my gosh, I finally got fucking COVID. No, it had to be something much, much worse. So I've had CT scans, I've had ultrasounds, I've had blood test upon blood test upon blood test. I've had urine tests. I've had poked, prodded, pilled up, I should get that made on a t-shirt, shouldn't I? And it's just fucking hilarious. I have to laugh. I have to I have to try not to like think about it too much, because it does fuck me off. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why this is happening now. Like, is my body thinking, you know, you need to sort your shit out? Probably. 33 years later. Like, come on, man. This is the only house I've ever lived in, and now this is happening. So, it's a journey. It's not a destination, it's a journey, and I am on that journey right now. Been given more drugs as well. They don't want me to have surgery if I don't have to have surgery, which is fine. I don't really want to have surgery either. If I'm having surgery, it's because I'm going to get a fucking nose job. Look at that nose. I hate my nose. I'll blame my sister. She punched me in the face when I was a kid. Thanks. That was like right before my birthday. So I had a black eye at my birthday party. Yeah, so I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning-ish, with a new doctor. My doctor has just left my medical centre. Barely saw her anyway, so I'm not really fussed about that. But when you've got stuff like this going on and you need someone to be there consistently, and there isn't, I get it. Like, medical centres are so under the pump at the moment. I just need one person. I just need one person who's going to be there occasionally. Not every single time, not every day, not when I call you. I just need someone to be there occasionally who knows what's going on, because 33 years this has probably been happening. In 33 years it's been fobbed off as depression and anxiety. You know what? I probably got borderline personality disorder. I'm not gonna fucking lie. I've probably got that, and I've probably got OCD. I'm pretty sure I've got OCD. I can diagnose that myself. I don't need a doctor for that. I kind of thought I might have been bipolar. I guess it's possible. But borderline personality disorder, after speaking to one of my friends from Derby, Caitlin, it makes a lot of sense actually. I probably should have figured that out a while ago. I studied social work when I was 23. From when I was 23 until I was 26. So I feel like I should know that. Thanks, Caitlin. But it makes sense. You know I have some obsessive compulsive disorders. I have some obsessions. I have a thing with numbers and objects and clothes. Like, if I see a top that I like, I have to buy it in 5 colors because I just really like that top. Or like, if you saw my kitchen and my dining room area, you'd see exactly what I mean. And I think I've always had that. I have a thing with not using stuff because I'm afraid of breaking it. Like, if that's jewelry or a glass or a mug or clothes, like, I'll buy a new top and then I'm like, I don't want to wear it because I don't want to ruin it. I'm not sure if that's an OCD thing or maybe a borderline personality sort of thing, or maybe just a me thing. Do a theory on that, thank you very much. But this is what I mean. Like, this is my life, and I don't really think I realised that a lot of these things come from somewhere. Obviously they all come from somewhere, but where these things come from. Is it trauma? Is it PTSD? Is it just mental health challenges? Is it a combination? Is it environment? Probably environment as well. Ecological systems theory, you know. Please look into your mental health. Please look into your mental health wellness and self-care. I'm such a busy person, partly because it stops my mind from wondering about things and stuff, and if my hands and my body is busy, then my brain is as well. And that's a coping mechanism, but it only can be for such a long time until those things come out. So exercise is great, talking to people is good, listening to music is great, but you still need to learn what to do to work through those things that you've been through. Work through them, let them go, leave them in the past, learn from them. Yeah, you know, like, I feel almost a little bit silly that it's taken me this long to realize this stuff, but I'm trying not to be too hard on myself because I am only human, and we all are. You know, my body lived here for 33 years. Why is this only happening now? I do not know. But yeah, So I might start sharing some of these videos with people. And like I said, this is not for sympathy. This is not for you to go, oh, poor you. This is me wanting to share stuff because I know how helpful it is when other people share stuff. There is a guy on Instagram. He's probably on Facebook as well and probably YouTube, but I follow him on Instagram. His name is, I don't know his actual name. I'm so sorry. His username is Recklessly Alive, and I love the stuff that he posts. It's for someone who has had suicidal thoughts, been in really dark places, you know, like when you consider about taking your own life, people think it's really selfish, and I don't agree with that. I think people have, like, when I did my social work degree, I did placement at mental health services for older persons, and one of the days that I was there, I went up to the hospital and I worked with the inpatient mental health team. So they're the ones that respond to crises when people are in a really dark place. And the kind of mentor that I had there, he was amazing. I only found out recently, or probably like last year or so, that he had passed away, and it broke my heart because he was such an amazing person. Oh, like I was really devastated about that, and I only met him a handful of times, but it just goes to show how much of an impact people have in your life, even if it's only for a moment. And as someone who has lost a family member to suicide as well, it's very telling, and it's very important to not dwell on the reasons that they've gone, and to try and understand. That's what I do. I can understand what it's like to be a teenager. I know what it's like to be bullied. I know what it's like to not feel like you have a lot of friends, or that you don't have people you can talk to. So I understand from that point of view why these things happen. And when this person spoke to me about suicide and people taking their own lives, this was before my niece had passed away. He mentioned to me, well, actually, he mentioned to the person in front of me, he asked them a question, because this young person was in hospital after an attempt. I'm not going to name any names because that's really inappropriate, but he asked this young person, were you doing it to end your life, or were you doing it to end the pain? And I just sat there for a few minutes while this person answered the question. I'm not even sure what they said, to be honest. And I was just like, holy fucking shit. That is the best question I have ever heard someone ask someone. And to this day, that is the best question I've ever heard someone ask someone, because words are so powerful, conversations are so powerful, the words you use, the context you use them in. I'm a big writer. I wrote a lot when I was younger, like poetry and stuff, to help me process my feelings and emotions. And when this person asked that question, I just thought, wow, that is amazing. And I think the person said it wasn't to end their life, it was to end the pain. So if you know someone who has taken their own life, you can be angry. There are no rules. You know, like, I wasn't angry, I was sad, I was upset. I felt a little bit guilty that I got to spend so much time with my niece. I felt guilty that I got to see her and have her for 13 years in my life, or 15 years I should say. I was 13 when she was born. I got to have her in my life for 15 years. I feel for the people who don't get to have her around, her siblings who were only babies when she died. The fact that she'll never get to go to a ball, have her first job, get her driver license and drive a car, travel. She'll never get to have her own partner and children, and those are the things that I get upset about, because I do feel a little bit guilty. I feel a little bit like I got all of this and other people don't. So yeah, I feel sorry for the people who will miss out on her, I think, is the biggest thing there. And so I truly believe, and I've not probably said this to many people, but I truly believe that when she took her own life, it was to end her pain, not to end her life. And sometimes when you are a teenager, you have no forward thinking. You don't know what tomorrow is going to be like. If you're being bullied, that person is in your pocket 24/7. If they're on Facebook, if they're on Instagram, if they're on any sort of social media and they are bullying you, you can't get away from them. Teenagers are addicted to their phones. It is an addiction. They need to do some more research and support with teenagers around that, because they can't put those things down. It is also a negative thing, but it's also a positive thing, because they can reach out to people who can help. They can call the mental health team. They can call or text that 1737 number if you're in New Zealand. But some people just can't. You're only human, you know. You can only take so much until you think, if I remove myself from the situation, physically remove myself, if I take myself out of this picture and put myself over here by taking my own life, then everything will be okay. But you know what? It's not okay. It's going to hurt so many people around you, and you may not feel like the world is better with you in it, but it definitely is. Look at your family, look at your friends. You might only have a few friends, but look at them and look at how they can make you happy. Look at how you can make yourself happy. Don't give up because right now feels hard. I had that twice last year. I'm not gonna lie. I had those thoughts twice last year. I had those thoughts when I was 15, when I was 16, when I was 17, when I was 18, when I was 19, every single year. And the last time I had that thought was in December last year, and that was when I was 32, almost 33. Okay, so please don't give up on yourself. I would never give up on you, and I sincerely mean that. I know the struggle. I don't know your struggle, and I never will, but I do know struggle. I do know suffering. I do know pain, and I do know that things can help. Things will be better. It is just a hard day. It's not a hard life. It's a shit moment. But if you can find good moments in every day as well, even if it's one thing, even if your good moment is waking up, even if your moment is listening to a good song that makes you happy, hold on to those good moments, because those moments turn into good hours, turn into good days, turn into good weeks. Not good months or good years, because I don't think that exists, to be honest. Hold on to those good moments. Do what makes you happy. Love yourself. It's taken me 33 years to really love who I am. And I know that probably sounds really sad, but the world is so hard. Everything is getting so hard. Things are so expensive. We really have to dig deep financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, and everything else spiritually. If that's your thing, that's totally fine. I would not ever diss or say you shouldn't be religious or spiritual, because that helps people, and if it helps you and it's something you're passionate about, then fucking do it. Don't feel like you can't be passionate, or you can't be spiritual, you can't be religious. That is something that you can choose to do, and if it's not hurting anyone, who cares? Do what you can do. Te Whare Tapawha is my spirituality, I guess. I am a strong believer in that, and I might touch on that another time, because this is a long video already and I'm hungry and I haven't eaten today, and it's like almost like probably 2 o'clock or something, and I've got more movies to watch. That's my plan. My plan today is to watch movies, and I'm so okay with that. I've been so busy, so unwell, so much pain. So yeah, I just wanted to share this video. It's something I might do often. I really hope it does help people, because when I was younger, I didn't have anyone who I felt knew what I was going through, apart from people who wrote songs, who were in bands, who sung those lyrics, because that's how I felt. I felt trodden down, I felt stood on, I felt like no one knew what I was going through and no one could know. And without bands like Linkin Park, Slipknot, 8 Foot Sativa, Static X, System of a Down, Mudvayne, Pantera, Avenged Sevenfold, Atreyu, Bullet for My Valentine, like I might not be here anymore. And then of course things like roller derby, things like mountain biking, things like my family, my friend, my tribe. I'm here because of those people and because of those things. Find what makes you happy in life and don't ever let it go, please. The future is brighter than you think. If I'm still here after having that for so many years, I hope in hell that things will get better for you as well, because you are loved, you are needed, you are brave, you are strong, and you are kind, and we are better with you in this world, okay? So please be kind to yourself, do some self-care. I'm gonna go because this is a long video, but I might talk to you soon. Okay, have a good day, bye.